Hello, everybody. Joe Bagadones here. Welcome back for another episode of Umineko. Last time, the Beato bullying arc continued, which I'm fully on board for. But more importantly, last time we left off, Kyrie decided she wants to go outside for some reason. She's got something that she's thinking about that she wants to do. So let's just hop right in there and see how it's going. For once, that's right. I'm actually recording this first instead of doing Mihoyo. So fortunately. I mean, hopefully, I'll have a smidge more energy. I was feeling a little yesterday when I was recording. You could probably tell. Like when I was listening back to my recording, I'm like, oh man, I sound like I'm not even there at all. Just like completely fucking checked out. Which, to be honest, I kind of was. But you know what it is. I just woke up, so I might be a little froggy, which you can probably tell in my voice, and it might take a moment for my brain to spool up, but. Got my nice cup of coffee, the last of it, so I need to go shopping after this at fucking probably 3 a.m. by the time I'm done recording this. So yeah, gas station coffee it is for me.
もちろん分かってるさ。だがな、時間を置けばどんどん暗くなってくる。多分今が一番明るい。今が一番都合がいいんだ。
ローザさんたちが襲われてからまだ1時間も経ったかどうかですよ。
Exactly. They wouldn't expect us to go out and about so quickly.
いくらなんでも。
It's only natural that Natsuki was yelling about recklessness, because Rudolph had said that he was going to the mansion to get food. Certainly, they were being tormented by hunger as well as their fatigue. In the beginning, they were just fine, because they could fight their moderate hunger with their drowsiness. Now it just made their minds hazy, and even though it was still midday, bodies felt like they were reaching their limits. Really? Only at like half a day of not eating and you're already like, ugh, how will we go on? Thought of going to the kitchen in the mansion and bring back some food certainly was attractive.
私は反対です。多少は辛いでしょうが、断じてここを出るべきではありません。
Yeah, you can fucking tough it out.
私たちは。
Well, this is clearly just an excuse to go do fucking snoop around the mansion or something.
だが子供たちにひもじい思いをさせるのは心が痛む。親として責任を負わねばならない。
Marie is dead, so all the whiners are gone. You know, the other three, they'll fucking shut up and put up.
あなた。お父様が亡くなられた今、後宮家の当主はあなたです。そのような危険を冒すことは許されません。
そうね。夏日さんの言う通りよ。
Yeah, which is why Rudolph and Kyrie will go.
クラウスさんはリーダーとしてここに残るべきね。
Because you're such a powerfully influential figure. That's right. Fucking puff him up a bit, you know.
俺とキリエ、あと秀吉兄さんの3人で行こうと思う。
Yo, squad.
俺と秀吉兄さんは銃を持ってる。そう簡単に向こうも手出しはできないはずだ。
ローザさんも銃を持っていましたが襲われました。
Yeah, but now there's multiple.
危険ではありませんか。
ローザたちの様子を確かめに出た時、銃を持っていたが、俺は一人だった。だが襲われなかった。男が相手なら、向こうも慎重なのかもしれないぜ。
I mean, you're pretty big.
男性が2人、そしてさらに銃も2丁。2人には護衛役に徹してもらって、荷物は台車で私が運ぶわ。
Because what is it? Rudolph's like... Does it have their height in the character sheet? Because he's probably like 6 feet. No, it doesn't. But we know both him and Battler, they're fucking pretty tall guys.
ローザさんの時とは状況が明らかに異なるはずよ。
Escort mission, how fun.
わしを男と見込んでの話なら、喜んで協力させてもらうで。こう見えても、屋台を引いて鍛えた体や。力仕事は任せてえな。
男性は護衛役に徹してくれていいの。使用人室に折りたたみ式の台車があったから、それを使えば私一人でも十分に食料が運べるわ。もちろん用心はする。そして、この冒険を一度だけ成功させれば、
I mean, it might be a bitch to get it down here if there are like any stairs, like on the way from the mansion to the guest house.
私たちはここを出る危険を冒す必要はないの。
なんとか考え直せませんか。皆さんに空腹を強いるのは心苦しいですが、しかし、
Yeah, just drink some water. You know, give it the old fucking struggling family special, which, to be honest, none of these people know about. I'll just drink a lot of water and then go to bed.
用心するで。それにエヴァはだいぶ体調が悪いんや。
But I forgot my lunch money at home, and I'm hungry at school, so I'll just fucking fill up at the water fountain, so that way, you know, I at least have something in me.
空腹にはできん。胃袋が空っぽじゃ飲める薬も飲めん
So that
わ。
wasn't really an issue for me in high school, because I was part of the marketing department, which
エヴァ
meant
のためにも
I was
わしは
one of the
出かけに
people
は
in
ならんの
charge
や。
of like running the school store where like all the snacks were sold. So, you know, sometimes I'd grab some stuff on credit, you know, pay them back later.
エヴァの具合はどうなんだね。
ようやく寝入ってくれたとこや。
More like passed out than went to sleep,
熱も
probably.
高い。
Yeah.
しばらくそっとしたってや。
妻の体調があっては座してもいられんか。わかった。
Man's gotta do what a man's gotta
外出
do.
を許可しよう。 じゃあ俺たちはさっくりと言ってくるぜ。スピード勝負だ。缶詰は OK だよな。缶切りくれこっちにあるよな。
はい、缶切りと
If not, you can just like
栓抜きはあり
fucking
ます。
bash it open.
ゲストハウスに水道があるから飲み物は不要よね。10人分もあるんだから好き嫌いは言わせないわ。
よっしゃ。
Grabbed all the fucking like canned beef and hash you
だ
can
だっ
get.
て走ってってさっさと持ってこようやないか。傘なんてさしてる暇あらへんで。
Oh god, I made like my mouth pucker just thinking about it. Like how salty. Oh.
留守番を頼むぜ。気をつけてな。本当ならば自分も生きたい。男に生まれながらこのような急場で力を貸せぬ長男の肩書き
I
が
don't think any less of you
羨ましい。
for it.
こういう時くらいしか俺らには見せ場がないのさ。たまには譲って兄貴はのんびりしてろい。じゃあな、夏日さん、タオルの準備でもして待っててくれ。傘はささねえから濡れネズミで帰ってくるぜ。
わかりました。お気をつけて。
Yeah, maybe get a fire going, you know? There's a fireplace somewhere. I can't tell if that's a cabinet or like a gas fireplace. It's probably just a cabinet. Rudolph, Kyrie, and Hideyoshi, each leaving their own brave words behind, left the lobby. There has to be a fireplace somewhere in this house. The question would be whether they actually have logs inside. They kind of got a chimney up there, but I don't know if it's like an actual chimney or like ventilation for like maybe like a gas heating system. Compared to when Rose and Maria had gone outside, the winds had picked up once again. Rudolph's group of 3 people jogged through the rose garden without umbrellas, holding their guns in a folding cart. If everything had been still and quiet, without the wind and rain, they would have probably kept their ears open and moved with caution. But in this rain, even if some suspicious person was hiding nearby, it would be difficult to notice them. Because of that, it had been Rudolph's plan to instead dash through the dangerous area. There was a chance that their opponent was equipped with a gun, and walking slowly with their guard up would only make them a target. It was probably correct. It was probably correct to decide on swift action.
バラテーや。カモがネギしょってきたと思うとるかもしれんで。
頼むぜ。
Yeah, it's a lot of open ground to cover. Even as Rudolph and Hideyoshi continued to run, they looked around restlessly, vigilant of their surroundings. Rose and Maria's deaths had not been caused by a projectile. However, it was easy to suspect that the servants had been killed in such a manner. Will they come flying out of the dark? Or will they take careful aim and snipe them from the shadows? Either way, they couldn't relax the tension for even an instant. But even so, when they reached the overhang in front of the entrance to the mansion and escaped the reach of the raindrops, they felt themselves breathing a sigh of relief.
まずは問題なしやな。ローザさんの時とは違う。うかつに手は出せんやろ。
そう信じたいね。キリエ、俺たちが見張ってる間に鍵を開けてくれ。
ええ、SP が2人もついてお屋敷に帰宅だなんて実にエグゼクティブな気分よ。
赤絨毯で召使いのお出迎えがあれば完璧や。
Yeah, so party this fucking event turned out to be. As the two cautiously surveyed their surroundings, Kyrie unlocked the front door with the master key she had been given.
Hideyoshi兄さん、戦闘を頼めるか。俺は背後を警戒するぜ。
了解や。キリさん。
Makes sense. He's the shorter one, so you can take aim over his shoulder if you have to.
ほな、突入するで。
後方了解。
男の人って何？
Hey man, let them have their moment.
この状況をちょっぴり楽しんでるでしょう。
諦めろよ。それが男ってもんだぜ。
Yeah, doing fucking breach and clear training is so much fun.
しかし、
fucking stacked up. You get the fucking hard pat on your shoulder, like when the person behind you is ready to go. Like how it works is the like, what is it? It's like the second to last person puts like their hand up with their thumb, and then like the person in the back like fucking hits their shoulder like we good, and then it goes all the way up to the front, and then boom, everyone goes in. It's not fun getting hit with sim rounds though. Those things fucking sting like a motherfucker. Imagine like a paintball mixed with a BB. Shit like, especially if it hits you on your hand, like on your wrist where like your glove doesn't quite reach. It's like, mother fuck. I got pinged with a couple of those the last time I did it. The air in the mansion felt stagnant with a heavy silence. And worse, it was still thick with the stench from Kinzo's burnt corpse in the boiler room. They were stuck with a strong desire to leave with the mansion, although they were never planning to stay.
前方問題ないで。厨房まで一っ走りや。
とっとと済ませて引き上げよう。スーツが親父の匂いで燻蒸されちまうぜ。
Ugh. The three of them dashed towards the kitchen. Well, this ain't good. And after they disappeared from the entrance hall, the new witch showed herself there. All according to Keikaku. The witch grinned. Thinking about it now, no matter how unbearable their hunger had grown, barely a few hours had passed since Rosa and Maria had been attacked and they had lost their lives. In that case, why had they needed to recklessly leave the guest house? Well, the question could be dealt with. The only answer was that they had been called out by the witch's magic. The instant she proclaimed that, the mansion was sealed off in a separate world. Unless she were to dispel the barrier, no longer could anyone exit this mansion or enter it. We got fucking circles and circles going on now. Because she has a believing heart, Runaway. Kinda.
だって私生まれた時から魔女だもの。あなたは瞬きの仕方を誰かに習うの？私が魔法を使えるのはそういうことよ。
恐ろしいお方だ。
Very, very sure of themselves. The witch's face twisted with brutality. She was beside herself with excitement at being able to toy with lives again.
さてさて。まずはルドルフとキリエなわけだけど、どんな残酷な殺し方をしてやろうかしら。
失礼ながら、先代様より不必要な残酷なる殺害は控えるようご指示を賜っております。
Don't want to get any yellow cards.
そして第4の晩以降は生贄の捧げ方に作法がございます。
Yep.
それには煉獄の7姉妹の力を借りねばなりません。
あら、そうだったの？
You gotta
そう
follow
い
the
えばそうだった
epitaph.
わね。好き勝手に遊べるのはさっきの第2の晩までなのね。つまんないわ。
Rules are rules.
またローザの時みたいに思い切り遊べると思ったのに。でもそれは最後の殺し方という意味でしょ？
Yeah, you can play around with them until that.
と申しますと、
私が何度
Ugh.
どれほどの殺し方をしようとも生き返らせて最後に
And just
自分の
finish him off
殺
with
し
the
方に
epitaph.
添えばいいわけでしょ。つまり私がどう遊ぼうと結局は問題ないってことになるわ。こんなに面白い力誰がおとなしくなんかするもんか。
Her wild logic was, for an endless witch, an extremely valid argument. The sacrifices for the Fourth Twilight and onward had prescribed protocols for the method of killing, represented by things like gouge the head. However, that referred to the way they died in the end. In other words, in the process leading up to that, she was free to tease and kill them however she wanted. She just had to keep on reviving them, and follow the rules only once she killed them the final time. Even while Runaway glimpsed some talent as a witch in her innocent cruelty, he was beginning to notice a naturally brutal side of her.
魔女は見習いが最も残忍と申しますが、本当のようですね。ご随意にと申し上げたいところですが、ここはやはり自重なさった方が賢明でしょう。彼らは銃を持っています。銃のような反魔法力の高い武器は、魔女や悪魔の
Makes sense.
天敵です。
That a gun, you know, a weapon of the modern age is, you know, it has some like metaphysical, you know, extra oomph to it against, you know, a magical entity. The witch stared blankly at this demon butler, who was unexpectedly afraid of guns.
話が違うわ。魔女は弾丸なんか追いかけられてもへっちゃらじゃないのかしら。
Because a gun is a weapon of man, letting them, you know, surpass their fear, whatever, that kind of thing, you know. It gives them the power to fight back against things greater than them.
いいえ、普通の人間と全く同じように致命傷となります。その弱点を蹴取らせないために。
Well, it didn't seem to be a problem for Beatrice the first time around, you know, when Natsuki lit her up.
多くの魔女は厳重に防御結界や家具の守備によって身辺を固めるのです。
私にその防御結界というのはあるの？
Again, like, I bring it up because I think it's a very poignant thing. It's like the episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where there's the demon, like 500-year-old demon, where it's like, no weapon forged by man can defeat me. And it's like, well, that was 500 years ago. What if I just shoot you with this anti-tank rocket launcher and it just fucking turns to bits? It's like that.
無効にする結界の構築には十分な準備と儀式が必要です。残念ながら今のベアトリーチェ様にはございません。また銃弾を防げるほどの家具の召喚も現在はその準備がありません。
これほどの魔力を持つ大魔女になりながら、それでもやはり鉛玉に怯えなければならないのね。不愉快だけど仕方がないわ。となれば家具を呼び出して私の手足とすれ
Sure.
ばいいわけね。
Summon some goat fucks if you want.
はい、危険に身をさらさず家具に全てを任すのもまた魔女の優雅なるたしなみでございます。ここは家具に任せ
Yep, when you're playing chess, you don't just, you don't just throw the king into the fray.
わかったわ。煉獄の七姉妹？誰でもいいわ。適当に二人。
Leviathan and Belphegor respond to that call.
嫉妬のレビアタン、ここに。
怠惰のベルフェゴール、ここに。
Are these really the two you want?
あんたたちの力を見せてもらうわ。強敵はルドルフとキリエ。秀吉はダメよ。さあ。
Yeah, he's off limits.
あなたたちがどれだけ残酷な家具なのか、私に見せてみて。
恐れながら、先代様より不要なる残酷行為は控えるようご命令を賜っております。
でも、
both their bangs are awful. I don't like that hairstyle. I mean, just... Even fucking Beatrice Ava here's just like Hime cut is better.
それでもよろしいですか？はっ、わかった。それで妥協するわ。簡単に殺してはダメよ。徹底的に追い詰めて死の恐怖を味わわせてから殺すのよ。それでいいのかしら、ロノウェ？
はい。程度をお考えいただければ問題ないかと思います。
なら追いきなさい。はい、お任せを。
相手は銃で武装しています。
Yeah, watch yourselves.
あなたたちほどのものならばかわすことはたやすいでしょうが、もしも当たれば致命傷ですよ。くれぐれも用心を。
And it'll be real embarrassing when, you know, everyone meets up after the end of the game and you got knocked the fuck
ご
out.
心配なく、そのような無様は晒しません。
Don't want to be like dear older sister Satan and have everyone just laugh at you. The two sisters of Purgatory vanished. Or was it Lucifer? I can't remember who it was. I think it was Lucifer. That fucking cannon kicked the shit out of her. The two sisters of Purgatory vanished. After bowing, Ronove also disappeared.
殺し方にまでルールがね。なんで私が先代様に気兼ねしなくちゃならないの？窮屈でつまらない。
As the witch looked up at the portrait of the predecessor Beatrice hanging in the hall, she cursed. Three had already arrived at the kitchen and were gathering food supplies. Thinking of the possibility that poison had been mixed in, they gave up on the alluring fruits and vegetables and gathered a whole cardboard box full of only the safe canned foods. It was very heavy, but by piling it on the cart, they could carry it well enough. With all of that, there would be plenty for 10 people to hold out until tomorrow's breakfast. It would be enough while they waited for the boat. The two men were supposed to be devoted to guard duty, but the weight of the load was tough on Kyrie, even with the cart. Hideyoshi, who professed himself strong, switched to being the cart pusher, and Rudolph and his wife took up the task of guard duty.
これだけあればジョージたちも満腹やろ。帰るまでが遠足や。
Just grab that big old can of tomato sauce. When Hideyoshi vigorously proclaimed their departure, Kyrie frowned, looking as though she was gazing into the distance. There was a wall in that direction. No, if her gaze could go through that, the wall beyond it.
どうした？キリエ。
チリチリするの。嫌な予感がするわ。
Your women's intuition tingling? Kyrie stopped, narrowing her eyes even further.
女の勘か？
Times like this, Kyrie's intuition surpassed reason. Rudolph trusted that intuition.
ええ、多分私たちは待ち伏せされてる。
Sneak out the back door?
さっきまではその気配はなかったの。でもたった今感じたわ。たった今、私たちは待ち伏せられた。
なら来た道を戻る義理はねえな。
Mm-hmm.
そこに勝手口があるじゃねえか。そっちから出よう。
Rudolph made to unlock the back door, but things were carried into the kitchen, and never passed through the part of the mansion that the family came and went from. So, outside the back door, there was probably a slope for transporting things. Surely they would be able to leave through there with the cart.
なんだこりゃ。
Oh yeah, everything's locked.
勝手。くそ、どうなってんだ。
開かないの？
ああ、壊れてんのかな。びくともしねえぜ。
Rudolph tried various things, using force and coaxing it, but the lock was as hard as stone and didn't even budge.
無理せんと玄関から出ようや。もたもた時間を潰す方が今は惜しいで。
これが罠だってのか。
わからない。用心して。
Mm-hmm. Just because you know the trap's there doesn't mean it's any easier to walk right into it. With strained expressions, the three of them returned to the hall again and headed for the entrance. The instant they exited into the hall, Rudolph noticed a suspicious shadow right in front of them and yelled. In that instant, a storm of gold leaf started blowing, and gold butterflies dyed the area in a golden color. You shouldn't be asking questions. Just shoot first.
信じられん。人間ごときが我らの待ち伏せを予見したか。
Sloppy,
私
sloppy.
のせいじゃないわよ。気配は消してたもん。
躊躇しないで撃って。
The two guns spouted fire. The lead bullets blasted right through the pair's magical defense as easily as though it were a wet paper wall. But the two who should have been there had disappeared. Certainly, guns were very frightening objects for them. But there was no need to fear as long as they weren't hit. They at least had enough speed to dodge those.
ちょっと名乗りも上げさせないつもり？これだから人間は嫌
No,
なのよ。
who cares about the dramatics? Leviathan protested, popping her head out from behind a pillar in the shadow of the staircase, full 10 meters from where she was, where she had supposedly been.
ベアトリーチェ様のご命令により貴様らを撃つ。時間をかけてホフレトのご命令だ。抵抗は自由。されど無駄と知れ。
Well, and you only got 5 shots unless you got some extra bullets in those pockets of yours. That voice came from overhead. Belphegor could be seen on top of the hall's chandelier. Elegantly looking down upon them, she proclaimed their execution with a cruel smile.
なんなんやこの姉ちゃんたちは。
台車は忘れて。相手は2人よ。3回すれば全員を追うこと
Yep,
は
time
で
to
き
book
ないわ。
All 3 of them were well acquainted with the inside of the mansion. They'd already made plans to run off in separate directions in case of a crisis, returning to the guest house by breaking windows or leaving through a back door. Fighting was forbidden, as long as they could get away.
36系逃げるが勝ちだぜ。
Yep. Nothing wrong with living to fight another day. The 3 of them escaped into the depths of the mansion at full tilt. The 2 furniture calmly watched them go.
私は女の方をやるわ。あんたは男。
了解した。
The 2 pieces of furniture in the shadow of the pillar and on the chandelier burst apart their human-like forms. And, leaving behind only the sound of hopping beetles colliding with the walls, they pursued their respective targets. Oh god, that's awful. Their speed was overwhelming, and they easily blocked the other's path of retreat.
家具のお手並み拝見させてもらうわ。楽しませてくれるといいのだけど。
ベアトリーチェ様、緑に姿を現されない方がよろしいかと。
キングは緑に中央を動かないものよ。
Yeah, I just brought that up earlier.
それが王者の魔女。
Oh, I thought she was done. Like it was one of those ones where the voice line stopped and you have to enter again to get the rest of the paragraph, but it wasn't. In front of Rudolph, who had boldly tried to escape to the second floor, Belphegor was already standing in the way.
抵抗も、そして闘争も無駄だ。お前は何も考えなくていい。ただ目を閉じているだけでいい。私がすべて優しく終わらせてやる。
Hey, that's a nice little portrait there.
あんたいい嫁さんになれ
I
る。
was about to say, you gonna say your line there, bud?
疲れて帰ってくる旦那はそういうの喜ぶぜ。
この後に及んで不埒な話をする余裕があると。良き獲物、ベアトリーチェ様、感謝します。死ね
Rudolph fired first. Nothing personnel, kid. But even before that bullet could hit her, Belphegor had already moved behind Rudolph's back. There she stood, her arm raised above her, a purple trail extending from it. However, even before that arm could decapitate Rudolph, unbelievably, Rudolph had swung his gun behind him. Barrel pointed behind his back, from the same motion from which he had reloaded the sawed-off gun one-handedly. pointing right at Beltigor's chest. Heck. Clunker. Is that the... Okay, I was about to say, is that the lever action going? There's a sound of the ejected empty cartridge finally hitting the wall after the reload. In other words, it meant that the next shot was already fully loaded. Without turning around, he pointed his gun right at Beltigor's chest. Rudolph grinned. Well, you can already see that you can fucking teleport around, so, you know, if you're out of sight, where else would you go? Don't have years of practice playing cowboys and Indians for nothing. Just like Rudolph, Kyrie was also confronting a demon stake in the first floor corridor. Really?
すぐに白馬で迎えに来てくれるわ。私が困った時、彼が助けに来てくれなかったことはないんだから。アスムさんがいた頃であってもね。
I'll just overlook that statement.
本当に仲のいい夫婦ね。嫉妬する。私は嫉妬。
We don't really know much about Rudolph's prior relationship with his first wife, whether that was, you know, kind of like Hinzo, you know, a marriage of convenience kind of thing.
嫉妬こそ我が力、我が怒り、我が源泉。
And your hair is green.
同感ね。嫉妬は女の力の原点よ。
Green with envy. Ha 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 ha.
それが力だというなら、あなたごときお嬢ちゃんになんか負けないんだから。
嫉妬を司る私によくも言えたわね。お前たち夫婦を再会などさせるものか。
Yeah, Kyrie, you don't really have a gun now, do you? How's this one gonna work? Armed Leviathan swung, trailed purple. It was a magic blade that cut by the power of malice. Oh, you took one. Kyrie guarded herself against that with her gun. Even though the magic blade should have been able to cut through metal like butter, the gun, with its extremely high magic resistance, is able to block the blade easily as if it were rolled up newspaper. Rapidly, 2 times, 3 times, blocked all of them. I probably just grabbed Ava's gun. And, without missing the opening created when the purple trail took a long swing upwards, Kyrie kicked Leviathan in the stomach with her heel. Almost like she was a lightly dancing feather, Leviathan was knocked away, before the demon snake's feet touched the ground again. Yeah, get the juggle, get the juggle! Kyrie had already perfectly captured Leviathan, who was in mid-air down the barrel of her gun. From mid-air, the 2 women who had spoken to each other of envy as power met each other's gaze.
Yeah,
we gotta put on airs. Rudolph tumbled down the staircase. He had been gradually chased down by Beltigor and had been pushed back into the original hall. Yeah, shouldn't you, like, not be here? Yes and no. Oops, but you've kind of seen behind the curtain, bud.
でも今は違うわよ、ルドルフ。
言わなくても分かってるさ。黄金の魔女、ベアトリーチェだって言うんだ。どうして分かったの？
He did?
ローザ、お前の地獄にお前の大嫌いな姉を送っちまうことをよ。
ベアトリッチ様、危ない！
Rudolph pointed the unforgiving barrel of his gun at the witch who claimed to have once been his sister. But Belphegor could not permit that and savagely attacked. She sprung at him, vanished, and got behind him. If he dodged the attack, she got behind him again. She vanished over and over, each time teleporting into Rudolph's blind spot. It was almost like she was a fairy. As she blinked in and out of vision, Belphegor insistently drove towards Rudolph.
これはこれで楽しいかもしれない。ルドルフ、あんたの検討がどこまで続くかゆっくり見物させてもらうわ。
Then, a dull tearing sound and Rudolph's cry of anguish intermingled. Rudolph had finally reacted too slowly in his dance with the purple trail which pressed upon him, and he had let it lightly cut him on the side. A single wound delayed a single one of his actions. That caused a new wound, which delayed him from acting again. Yep, now we're in the downward spiral. Belphegor's dance began to swallow Rudolph whole. Watching Rudolph's body gradually get carved up, his former sister let out a shrill laugh. Leviathan could no longer hide her irritation that Kyrie was absolutely refusing to allow her to deliver a fatal wound. Go have your own, like, personal growth somewhere else on your own time, please. It seems like you built your castle on a foundation of sand there, girl. It's good to have a little bit of drive to, like, push you forward, but...
夫に全幅の信頼を寄せるあなたへの嫉妬を私は力に変える。気に入らないの。なんで命のやり取りをしてるの。
Yeah, it is what it is.
そんなに余裕なの。
どうしてかしらね。
分かってるのよ。必ず夫が助けに来てくれて、自分を助けてくれるって。すごいじゃない。その信頼。
What, you jealous?
嫉妬に値するわ。
What kind of trust do we sisters have in each other? We sisters are always looking down on each other, trying to thoroughly lambast each other and turn things from bad to worse. Yeah, you guys don't have the very best, like, family relationship. Almost like you're all demons. Weird.
全幅の信頼を寄せることができるあなた。その夫を信じきった余裕ある表情。嫉妬が力を与えてくれるのを感じるわ。これは超えちゃうかもね。音速。
She's fast as fuck, boy! Leviathan turned herself to a stake, and the speed of her flight as she attacked was proportional to the strength of her envy.
姉妹たちに見下されたあの日、私は成長の早い他の6人を心の底から嫉妬した。7日7番をかけて嫉妬したわ。
Oh, so fucking dramatic.
その末に得た私の力と速度を見るがいい。死ねー、後ろ宮キリエ
ー! Demon Stake exposed her true form, leaving about at a terrible speed. Noise from her colliding with and bouncing off the wall sounded like a machine gun. By now, Kyrie probably couldn't tell whether it was a single stake or a swarm of beetles flying and bouncing around. Leviathan was certain of a greater than 100% chance of victory from the bottom of her heart. Then, Kyrie spoke with an unbelievably calm voice.
ルドルフさんと最初から付き合っていたのは私だったのよ。アスムさんが白々しく間に入り込んできて、ちゃっかりと解任したのよ。ルドルフさんは悪くない。
Oh, well, she's the homewrecker. Ugh.
あの女が体を武器にして立ち回ってルドルフさんに婚約せざるを得ないよう追い詰めたのよ。アスムさんはバトラ君を身ごもってた。
Poor Battler.
そして同じ頃、私もまた男の子を身ごもってた。運命的なことに、私たちの出産日は共に同じ日だったわ。そしてアスムさんはバトラ君を出産したわ。だけれど私はダメだった思ったことがあるわ。もしダメだったのがアスムさんで出産したのが私だったなら、ルドルフさんは婚約を解消して私と結婚してくれたかしら。でも私は子供を産めなかった。
That's a messy fucking triangle right there.
だからアスムさんが死ぬまで、そしてエンジェを解任するまで、私はアスムさんを呪ったわ。嫉妬したわ。アスムさんなんか死んでしまい、そして私と再婚してほしいってずっと嫉妬して呪って、そしてやっとアスムさんが死んだ。
Your envy was so strong you killed
私は
someone
確信したわ。
with it. You know, not literally, but like.
私には魔法の力があって、
Yeah.
それが呪いとなってアスムさんを殺したんだって確信したわ。でも私の嫉妬の炎は収まらない。内緒よ。バトラ君を見るたびにね。
Yeah.
あの
Yeah, I
女を
can
思い
see
出
that.
しちゃう。
And then that makes you feel bad because you know it's not his fault.
そしてバトラ君を見るたびにね、もし私の子が生まれていたら同じ年だっただろうなって思って
It's a real fucked up situation.
私は今でも彼女を嫉妬し苛まれてる。今もこれからも未来永劫にね。7日7番姉妹を嫉妬したです。
Yeah, try being fucking jealous for your entire life.
そうよ。
That's some fucking teenage drama bullshit.
笑わせるなよ小娘が。てめえに男を取られて18年間嫉妬し続ける女の狂気がわかるかよ。
If Leviathan's power had 24 hours times 7 days, or 168 hours worth of speed, then the power that Kyrie had accumulated was 24 hours in 1 day, 365 days in a year, for 18 whole years. Even without counting leap years, that was 157,680 hours. Compared to Leviathan's power and speed, it was more than 938 times greater. So then, even if Leviathan was soaring at a speed of sound, 1,225 kilometers an hour, to Kyrie's eyes, it only looked like 1/938th of that. So then, 1,225 divided by 938 is speed of 1.3 kilometers an hour. Just fucking an ant crawling on the ground. They say that a human's walking speed is 4 kilometers an hour, so it was even less than half of that. Almost the same speed as a baby crawling on the floor. So then, shooting fish in a barrel. In unit time slowed as much as you could count all the bits of dust floating through the air. Kyrie looked at the demon stake with pity. She pitied the slowness at which it came towards her. She's in witch time, baby! Got that perfect dodge. And she lazily raised the barrel of her gun, almost as though she was trying to swallow the demon stake up with a gun barrel.
恋も嫉妬もあなた全然足りないの。出直してらっしゃい お嬢ちゃん。
Fucking riggedy wrecked, huh? Bad matchup.
ルドルフ、先ほどまでの威勢はどこへ？池作りは魚が跳ねてるうちがいいわ。
That's I don't like that. I've seen like videos of like I think it was like a restaurant in China where they serve like it was like the fish, it's like half of it's cut and like the top half, like the mouth is like sitting upright in the platter, still like gasping for air, and the bottom half is like all sashimied up, and it's just like ooh. Same with like frogs, like that's I prefer it when my food is dead, not in like the process of dying.
もう十分よ。殺しちゃえば。
そこまで刻まれて、よくぞここまで耐えた。
He's a tough guy, works out.
もう十分だ。あとは何も考えなくてよい。痛みなく生を奪い去ってやる。
待ってくれ。あの兄が最後にあれがやってみて。
What do you mean?
あれとは何か。
西部劇名物のあれだよ。
Do you want to like spin the gun around with one hand, or you want to do a fucking quick draw contest?
背中を向け合ってから3歩歩いてズドンってやつ。
決闘か。よかろう。それにて根性の未練が尽きるならば受けて。
Rudolph raised his wound-covered body and turned his back to her. Beltagor responded and faced her back to his. Beltagor had a sense of integrity that was uncommon in a witch's furniture.
言っておく。たとえ私の眉間に銃口を突きつけたとしても。
You can still dodge.
私はお前が引き金を引き、私の頭蓋骨に弾丸が至るよりも早く。
Well, Rudolph seems like a slimy guy, so you're probably gonna take one step and end up with a fucking bullet in the back of your head.
そいつはもう骨身に染みてるぜ。お前は銃弾より早い。
それを知りつつ決闘を挑むお前の度胸に敬意を表し感謝せよ。
お前は律儀なやつだな。いい女。
Which is why you're a bad matchup for a slime ball like Rudolph.
俺そうだぜ。
始めるぞ。3歩で良いのだな。まずは1歩。
そして2歩。
3歩だ。これでいいのか。
そして3歩も歩いてまだ気づかねえな。俺の勝ちだね。
いや。
お嬢ちゃん。
何
Rudolph turned around and fired off a bullet. Of course, Beltagor could easily see through the speed and trajectory of a bullet like that. Should have been no problem at all to dodge it. But a spray of flesh blood blew out. Beltagor had set up an adequate magical defense barrier. But before an incarnation of anti-magic powers such as that bullet, it was completely meaningless.
何やってんのよ。何当たっちゃってんの？
The bullet had hit Beltagor right in the chest. The pain from the lead caused her to grimace, as did the pain from the denial of magic.
許す。俺は卑怯な。
興ざめだわ。魔女の家具ともあろうものが人間に破れるなんて。恥を知りなさいよ。情けない。みっともない。
Well, both of your furniture just ate shit,
勝手に
so...
這いつくばって死んじゃえば。
やめな。
Yeah, she got played.
こいつはかわせた。だがかわさなかった。車線上に姉貴がいることに気づいてます。
Oh.
だから律儀なこいつは。
So that's how you did it.
姉貴をかばったんだ。大手飛車取りに最後に気づいたんだ。
見事。
悪く思うな。お前が3歩歩く間にそれに気づけたら、俺は観念するつもりだった。
あの3歩は私の手心だったか。考えようともしなかった。 しまった旅だった。
Here's what it is.
お前はいい女だったぜ。先に天国で化粧してもってきっと口説きに行くから。
Smooth, smooth, smooth. As Belphegor slowly fell over, she lost even the power that kept her in a human form, and returned as fine as. And she turned as fine as gold dust and melted into thin air. At that point, Kyrie dashed in, seeing that she had defeated her pursuer with her own hands. As she pointed the barrel of her gun straight at the witch, she ran right up to the wound-covered Rudolph.
大丈夫？今誰か口説いてなかった？
Don't worry about it.
ああ、いい女だったぜ。もちろん、お前の次程度にさ。悪いね、兄貴。チェックメイトだぜ。
The two of them pinned the witch down the barrels of their guns.
情けない家具たちね。人間相手に遅れを取るなんて。情けない。くだらない。つまらない。
Hey, Runaway, yeah, we need an assist?
銃弾を防ぐ結界も覚悟。ここに。
Oh god, those teeth. You should go to a dentist. The witch began to let out a muffled laugh. It surprised not only Rudolph and Kyrie, but Runaway as well. Because a situation like this, with two guns pointed at her, was not one that could just be laughed off, even by a witch. But the witch laughed with pleasure.
そりゃあ、先代様の使い古しの家具じゃ無理で当然ね。私には私にふさわしい新しい家具じゃないとダメよ。私ギリで使ったけど。
You just gonna like make some on the fly, or?
もともとお風呂は嫌いなの。
I mean, how many hand-me-downs did you get? You're the older sister, and it's not like you're getting Krause's old shit. As she said that, she looked down at Belphegor's remains, which had turned completely into a pile of gold dust, with disgust.
何の話をしてるかわからねえぜ。おとなしく両手を上げやがれってんだ。
You could just blast her. Then, the witch obediently raised her hands. Instead of raising her hands because a gun was pointed at her, it looked more like she was a conductor facing an orchestra, waving her conductor's baton.
さあさあおいでなさい。私にふさわしき家具たち。あんな安っぽい家具じゃなくて、もっともっと強力な残酷な
妙な真似はやめて。引き金を引くわ。
Then do it. In response to the witch's call, the hall was once again buried in the color of gold. It was a wild dance of brilliantly radiant gold butterflies, and it felt as though they had been swallowed up by an ocean of gold leaf. Renove was left shocked at the upsurge in magical power. That was because it far surpassed even that of his former master. As their eyes were dazzled amidst the golden brilliance, a gunshot could be heard. Neither Rudolph nor Kyrie had fired a round. And after the golden glow had subsided, there was the witch, looking at least cool and composed. The bullet? Kyrie had definitely fired it into her. But it was not embedded anywhere in the witch's body. There it was. The bullet was fastened in midair right in front of the witch's chest. A barrier which took even her predecessor a significant amount of preparation in an instant. Renove's face was by now twisted in shock. And the surprise did not stop there. A group of gold butterflies created two humanoid figures. We're getting super rares in the roll? It was a furniture summoning. Hi? You're from Iceland? Hingadingabjorn. The butterflies peeled off and flew away, and beneath them, furniture in the shape of girls showed themselves. Those are some outfits.
シエスタの姉妹兵。先代様でもおいそれと呼び出せなかったペンドラゴンの記念兵をいともたやす。
Pendragon? Like Uther and Arthur? Those Pendragons, or?
シエスタ410、ここに。シエスタ45、ここに。
Hello. Hi. Whomst? Chester 45. A weapon in a contract with Beatrice. 45 has an extremely meticulous and timid personality and is fairly paranoid. For that reason, she compensates well for the weakness of 410's slapdash personality when they work as a pair. Cannot bear silence and even becomes emotionally unstable unless she is constantly being given orders. 45 excels in enemy search and being decisive. The sister's battle power is doubled by her support. Chester 410. A weapon in contract with Beatrice. Oh, is it 410 or 410? 410. It says right there up at the top. I should probably read. 410 is a kid with character who had a unique and brazen way of speaking. Her hobby is teasing serious and uptight people, which is why she likes 45 and Lucifer. Rough speaking, but loves company and easily succumbs to loneliness. Gets depressed unless there is someone constantly giving her attention. 410 excels in firing control, and even in close-range combat, exhibits battle power that is second to none. Great, lovely, excellent. Like it wasn't bad before.
私にふさわしい家具なんでしょうね、あんたたちは。絵本の朗読から同伴デートに隕石撃墜まで幅広くお答えしますよ。にひひ。お答えしないと竜王様に怒られます。何卒ご命令を、大ベアトリーチェ卿。
ルドルフさん、逃げましょう。こいつらはダメだわ。
Yeah. Time to boogie. Thanks to the same feeling that had alerted her to the ambush by the Seven Sisters of Purgatory, Kyrie clearly heard warning sirens going off in her head, almost resembling screams. Without hesitation, they ran. As the witch elegantly watched them leave, she ordered her new furniture.
命令よ。逃げた二人を殺して、そして死体をここへ持ち帰りなさい。そしたら生き返らせて何度も遊ぶのよ。
The witch's expression twisted with an evil smile. Even though she feared that expression, Lucifer appeared and spoke.
恐れながら先代様よりそのような残酷行為は慎むようにと。
Well, that was for you guys. Not these new two. When the witch stared at her with those terrifying eyes, Lucifer was struck dumb. She was unsatisfied. She was bored of not being able to let her own power and her own cruelty run wild. Irritated by her predecessor's furniture telling her to act with restraint, her discontent was at its peak.
傲慢のルシファーちゃんじゃない。お久しぶりに元気？また今度一緒に遊びましょうね。にひひひひひ。410、死後はダメです。怒られます。大ベアトリーチェ卿のご命令を迅速に遂行を。にひ、お仕事の時間だね。410了解。
Oh god, it's backwards. Booted firing, guidance system, and the rest is, it's all Greek to me.
追撃狙撃戦準備。地形データ収集。射撃用データ収集。
Igniting data collection.
410へデータリンク。410データ受領。
Forming firing curve.
標的を捕捉。地形誤差修正。射撃曲線形成。制御点補正完了。45へデータリンク。45データ受領。
Firing per preparation. That's an R in there. Preparation complete. Acquire accuracy 97.89%.
危険区域確認。はっ。後ろ邪魔だよルシファーちゃん。
Yeah, fucking gotta clear your back
バ
blast.
ックファイアで焼けるよ。にひ。
I've seen plenty of live leak videos. That shit'll fuck you up. The Chiester sisters, through their mutual measurements, were able to instantly calculate the terrain inside the mansion and coordinates of their targets, as well as the firing curve to reach them. Yes, their shots could be guided to draw a curved line. No one would be able to escape it. The precision homing ability of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory was nothing more than a cheap version of the ability these two held.
45射撃準備完了。弾手選定装填。
The two of them faced each other, as though they were both pulling back a bowstring together. There, a dazzling golden arrow was ready.
410にひ。射撃。
After they proclaimed that they were firing, together, they released a single arrow. As the curve taken by the gold, sparkling snake of light drew a trail, it headed in the direction Rudolph and Kyrie had run in rapid pursuit. It turned through the corridors, crawled over the floor, chasing them as it drew a beautiful curve. No one could block the Chiester sisters' homing projectiles. No one could escape them. And their strength could pierce all physical and magical defenses. It was an all-too merciless guided weapon of certain death. However, among mythical-class soldiers, it was a weapon used by pretty much everyone. It was very commonplace for them, and very extraordinary for those of the everyday world.
なんだ
When they noticed something rapidly chasing them, and turned around. Rudolph was shot straight through the location of his heart by the gold snake. It all happened in an instant.
ルドルフさん
After the gold snake ran Rudolph through, it swooped down to the floor, drawing a beautiful spiral, coiled itself around Kyrie's legs, and crawled up to her chest. And just like Rudolph, it shot straight through the location of her heart. And all that too happened in an instant. It impaled Rudolph, and it impaled Kyrie. So they died at almost the same time, dropping to their knees at the same time, and fell over at the same time.
なにこれ。圧倒的じゃない。
Now, what the fuck is that cheap weapon?
バカバカしいくらいにあっさりね。私ではこういう家具が向いてるわ。先代様の中古家具とは大違い。さあ、二人の死体をここへ。飽きるまで何度でも蘇らせて、思いつく限りの残虐な殺し方を試してやるの。
So, what's Hideyoshi up to?
魔女がこんなにも楽しいなんて。命を奪うことが
Because the mansion's locked, he's probably still trying to fucking find a way out. The most shunned action to take for someone born a human is the murder of another human. It's only natural for a human not to understand how pleasurable it is to break this taboo. But she was no longer a human. She was a witch. And there was some pleasure that only witches could understand. By now, she had tasted those pleasures and was totally immersed in them. After learning that the contents of the forbidden pot were honey, she could no longer live without it. No. Maybe the contents were honey because they were forbidden. In any case, the act of killing humans gruesomely, and doing it over and over, was by now giving her a drug-like pleasure. As the witch rolled over laughing, the gold snake which had been fired returned as though being hauled back in. The two were stitched at the tip and being dragged along. The witch's orders had been carried out. Rudolph and Kyrie had been killed instantly, and their bodies had been carried back.
シエスタ45、410、 遂行を完了しました。大ベアトリーチェ卿の次の命令を待ちます。どうかご命令を。赤ん坊のおもりからネトゲのお相手、スペースシャトル撃墜まで何でもお答えしますよ。にひひ。こいつらは第4の番と第5の番の生贄らしいの。だから最後には役立たずの7姉妹、ああ、もう5姉妹か。こいつらを額と胸に刺してえぐらなくちゃならない。でもそれを最後にすればいいんであって、それまでを私がどう遊ぼうと勝手よね。
Show us the depths of your cruelty, Ava, Beatrice.
待て待て待て待てい。そなたはわらわの言っていたことをもう忘れたのか。
おや、
She
これ
doesn't
は
care.
先代様、何か文句でも終わりですか？
あるに決まっておろうが、そなたはやりたい放題ではないか。なぜにわらわの言いつけが聞けぬのか。
やりたい放題で何の問題があるのですか？
Yeah, you're
先
not
代
the Golden
様。
Witch anymore. What you say doesn't really matter.
それに私は儀式のルールを逸脱しようなんて気持ちはこれっぽっちもありません。ちゃんとこの2人の死体を後できれいにして額と胸に杭を打ち込んでおきますから。
そういう問題ではないというに、あまりに品がなかったり残酷だったりするとだな。
Yeah, boys won't like you.
その気を悪くする者もおるかもしれぬし。
先代様がどこかで戦っているとかいうゲームの相手ですか？どの上に聞きました？
Yep.
しゃべり
The beans are all over the floor.
め。まあ正直に言うとそういうわけだ。ちょっと目に余ると、その講義を受けてな。
先代様にわざわざ伝言などさせず、直接講義にいらっしゃればいいのに。臆病な方です。
こことはその
Yeah,
異
they're
なる世
they're
界の
not
住
here.
人だからの。
They can't come here.
わらわを返さねばならぬのだ。まあとにかくだな。
ということは、その方は私に何か干渉したくてもできない。
Which means you're free to do whatever you want with no
そして
consequences.
私も干渉したくてもできない。それくらいに遠い世界の無縁な方との認識でよろしいですか？
うん。例えるなら、とても近い2本の平行線の世界とでも言おうか。とても身近な世界なのだが、
Yeah,
平行
so
線ゆ
so
え
they
に2
can't
本の
touch.
線が交わることは決してない。そんな世界と、とりあえずは認識してくれればよい。
交わらないということは、私とは関係ない世界のことということです。もしその方の代弁で私に自重しろとおっしゃられてるのでしたら、
Yeah, we've registered the complaint and are choosing to just completely ignore it because there are no consequences either way.
あやつにか？なんと伝える？
Mind your own fucking business.
余計なお世話だよ、消えろよババア。へそでも噛んで死んじゃえば。失礼しました。先代のお友達でしょうから、多分女性だろうと想像しただけです。ババアと言っても決して先代様のことではありませんから、
Yeah, sure,
どうか
totally.
ご容赦ください。
When she spoke, the witch was looking straight into Beato's eyes. Anyone in that place would be able to figure it out just by looking.
先代様、とても不思議に思うことがあります。どうして先代様はその別世界の方とゲームをして魔女だと認めてもらわなければならないのですか？
それはだな。すべての人間に魔女の存在を認めさせることが完全なる支配につながるからで。
Yeah, what is the reason for all this?
一人頑固者がおってな。どうあってもわらわを魔女とは認めんのだ。
どうしてその人間の認可が必要なのですか？魔女が魔女であり、魔法を振るうことにどうして人間に認められる必要が
Well,
あるのですか？
it's like the if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to therefore it doesn't make a sound kind of thing.
だからな、前にも話した通り、
魔法という
If
の
there's no one there to observe the magic, there might as well have not even happened.
私は魔女です。別に誰の認可がなくとも魔法が使えますが、何か？
この世界ではな。しかしだな、それをあやつが認めない以上はそのなんと説明すればよいのか。
説明いりません。だって
Yeah, just
決して交わる
don't worry
こと
about
の
all
ない
the
別世界の話じゃありま
all
せ
the
んか。
heady plot details.
それはつまりない世界も同じということです。別世界でゲームで戦っていると先代様が妄想を語っていることと何にも変わりません。重ねて言います。私と関係ない話です。そして私はもう魔女です。先代様はどうやらその何者かに認めてもらえないと魔女になれないようですが、私は違います。誰に認められずとももう立派な魔女です。先代ということであなたに形式的な敬意は捧げますが、それは私の行為であって義務ではありません。もう私はあなたの助言など求めていないし、これからどうすればいいか、どう遊べばいいかはっ
What
き
a
り分
little
かってます。
fucking self-centered upstart you
だ
are.
から13人殺しの儀式まではあなたへの最後の敬意だと割り切って行います。しかしそのやり方や
Yeah, quit fucking butting in.
その後のことについてはあなたに口出しされる言われは全くありません。そういうことで一つよろしくお願いします。
At a glance, those words seemed obedient, but they contained within them a clear parting of ways. They were saying, as clear as could be, I have no more reason to rely on you, so don't get in the way of my fun. Ito understood that, and was dejected, realizing no matter how she explained it, she wouldn't be able to make the witch understand.
そうか。ならばわらはもう知らぬぞ。魔法は敬いの気持ちなくして存在できぬことを身をもって知るがいい。
あなたがこれまでに縦横無尽に暴れてきたそれがどう敬いがあったのか教えてほしいものです。
After hearing that, Ito could not respond, because she remembered hearing exactly the same thing from her master.
シエスタの姉妹、先代がお帰りよ。お見送りを。先代様、どうぞこの場はお引き
Yeah, go on, get.
でないと私たちが叱られます。
Throughout her body, Ito felt something invisible in the Cheshire sister's eyes, which could only be described as an oppressive feeling. More likely, they were initiating firing calculations. It was an action much like taking out a gun and cocking it. Even Beato could not escape from the Chester sisters' attacks without any preparation. In the past, she had placed her greatest trust in them, so she knew down to her very soul how terrifying they were.
先代様、お引き取りを。これ以上、ベアトリーチェ様のご機嫌を損ねられるのは。
Yeah, it is time to take a tactical retreat.
先代様。わかった。わらわはこれにて退場する。そなたがどのような顛末をたどるか、ゆっくり鑑賞させてもらおうぞ。
That was as close as you could get to a loser's last retort. So after Beato hit herself, the witch and her furniture fell over laughing.
まあ、わかる。無限の力は楽しい。有限の極みである命を自在にもてあそぶ快楽は味わったことのないものには説明。
Yeah, fucking how's the shoe feel now that's on the other foot, huh?
その快楽に取りつかれる気持ち。わかっ
さぞや楽しかったでしょうね。かつてのあなたのはしゃぎぶりを見る限り。
た。あれがかつて何度も諭そうとしたお師匠様と、それに耳を重ねわらわの姿だというの。
なぜあの子の行為を咎める気になったのですか？
それは
あなたにはあの子と大きな違いが一つあります。あの子はすでに魔女かもしれない。もちろんあなたも魔女です。ゲーム版の上の世界では。 しかしゲーム版の外の世界で魔女だと認められるには、ゲームの対戦者であるバトラ君に認めてもらわなくてはならない。あなたはそれを理解してゲームを始めたはずです。
魔女である証拠を暴風のように見せつけ、わらわを拒否する気持ちを吹き飛ばし、屈服させればわらわを魔女と認めると思った。
Nah, you're just making him retreat further into his shell.
今回うまくいきかけたので、もう一息だと思ったのだ。
実際は逆です。バトラ君はあなたの残忍さに呆れ果てていました。そしてゲームの対戦者として登壇したのは、あなたを対等な対戦相手だと認めたからではない。残忍な魔女の存在を一切認めないという強い敵意に基づいてです。愚かなあなたはバトラ君が対戦者の自覚を持ってくれたことを自分を魔女だと認めさせる第一歩のように感じていたのでしょう。でも実際は全くの逆。バトラ君はあなたを魔女だと絶対に認めないためにあなたのゲームに挑んだのです。
Now it's his responsibility to disprove that you're a witch in magic.
浅はかな北風がいくら吹きつけようと、旅人はマントをより深く着込むだけ。あなたは大きな間違いを最初から犯しているのです。このゲームはバトラ君を屈服させる拷問などではない。あなたがバトラ君に認めてもらうために努力する試練なのです。
うすうすはよ。
前回はバトラ君にとって辛いゲームでした。しかしもう気づいたようですね。今回はあなたにとって辛いゲームです。
Yeah, everyone's just ganging up on you.
わらわはこれからどうすればいいのだ。
あなたが自分で考えるのです。
Yeah, you fucking put yourself in this situation. You get yourself out.
幸いにもあなたはもうゲーム版の駒を降りて新しき魔女に委ねました。じっくりと自らについて思案する時間があるでしょう。
バトラはもう敵意の塊じゃねえかよ。
Oh, gee, no wonder whose fucking fault that
魔
is.
女は認めない。そしてわらわも認めない。それでどうやってバトラに認めてもらうんだよ。北風でダメなら今からのこのこ太陽で照らせっていうのか。このわらわが今更。
And then that shift in personality would be a little too much.
ハロウィンの季節ですね。太陽が死に再び蘇る再生の月です。蘇ったばかりの弱々しい太陽は冬の木枯らしに遠く及ばないでしょう。
But it never is too late to change. Now, whether people will accept that change is another story, but, you know.
しかしじっくりと成長し、やがては春の訪れを告げることができる。その時、旅人はマントを畳むこともあるかもしれない。
わらわ間違ってるというのか。
Yes. The whole concept of this game was fucked from the beginning. The beautiful hall of the Ushirimiya mansion was covered in a golden glow like gold leaf, stained deep red with thick spurts of blood. The number of deaths given to Rudolph and Kyrie had long surpassed anything you could count on both your fingers and your toes. The witch was breathing so hard her shoulders shook, but it wasn't because she was tired. She just couldn't hide the ragged breathing caused by her still uncontainable excitement.
人の生き死にを自由にすることのなんと楽しいことか。無限の魔女の力の前には私が思い描く無限の全てが実現するわ。どんなにぐちゃぐちゃにすりつぶしてやったって。私は指を一つ鳴らすだけで元通りにして蘇らせることができる。そして最後に申し訳程度に碑文に沿った死体に戻せばいいんだからね。ねえあんたたち、ぬいぐるみのお腹を裂いたことってある？
No?
ないです。45は？いえ、やったことはありません。 してよ。お気に入りのぬいぐるみだった
Yeah,
ら
it's
な
a
おさら
pretty
よね。
fucked thing to do.
でもずっと思ってた。こんなにも大好きで、ふかふかのぬいぐるみの中には
It's usually
何
like,
が詰まってるんだ
I
ろ
was
う。
gonna say cotton, but not anymore. Now it's like a synthetic kind of like polyester string,
いつか
cotton
覗い
ball,
てみたいって
but not actually
ずっと思
cotton.
ってたわ。
If you cut it and looked inside, curiosity might be quelled. The stuffed animal would be broken. So even though you wanted to see, you can't. You understand that feeling, right?
無限の魔女の
Just go to
力は
Build-A-Bear.
まさにそれを叶えてく
See
れ
the
る
whole
力なの。
process of it being made so that we don't gotta think about what's inside.
今の私は好きなだけぬいぐるみを裂くことができる。なのに魔法一つでそれを元通りに蘇らせることができるわ。それはつまりこの世のあらゆる制約を打ち破ったということ。今の私には躊躇することも思いとどまることも何もないの。その喜び。
I mean,
誰にもわからないで
there's
しょうね。
the other witches, they probably get
無
it, but
限の魔女の私以外誰にもわからない。
as the witch let out a euphoric cry, she revived Rudolph and Kyrie again. Faster than they could realize it, she killed them right away. As she made it known that something other than cotton was stuffed inside those two.
予算かエヴァ。
あんたいたの。
In that hall of tragedy, Hideyoshi showed himself, his gun readied. The witch had sealed the mansion with a barrier, so Hideyoshi had nowhere to run. It probably picked up Rudolph's or Kyrie's gun and came back. It seemed that the gun, which should have been something to be feared, was no longer an object she took seriously now that she was overflowing with magic power. Her bold expression didn't flinch in the slightest.
なんでローザさんやマリアちゃんやルドルフ君やキリエさんまで殺さにゃならんのや。
For the golds!
はあ、私は後ろ宮家の当主にして六軒島の魔女よ。この島では何を起こそうと全ては自由自在。今だけの一瞬を切り取ってその生き
Also,
死
yeah,
にをどう
oof, you've been using a lot of
私
magic.
には無意味なこと。
Ava back at the guest house must be in a rough state right now. Hideyoshi was struck speechless by that all-too callous response from the witch. Did someone's personality change so much just by finding Kinzo's gold?
どんだけ高く積まれた黄金やったやろな。わしには想像もつかん。お前の正気を失わせるほどのものだったんやろ。だがな、そんなにもたくさんの黄金やったなら
Should have been plenty to go around.
なして気前よく分けっこしたろって思わんかったんや。
誤解してるわ。あれは全て黄金の魔女のものよ。
Which means you can't give any of it away.
私以外の誰にも触れる資格はない。
Just gotta keep it in there and just look at it.
お前は何や。昔聞かせてくれた少女時代の魔女だったエヴァだとでも言うんか。
Well, at least you're pretty quick on the uptake.
あなたの妻の後宮エヴァの胸の中にずっと住んでいた。そして魔女なの。エヴァは私を忘れることによって大人になったわ。だから魔法が使えない。
誰だって子供の頃には無邪気だけれど残酷な妄想に頭を膨
Yeah,
らま
kids
せ
are a
る
little
ことは
fucked up
ある。
creatures.
わしかて小さい頃はアリを踏んで回ったりトンボの羽をむしったりして遊んだことがあるわ。しかし命の大切さを学んで、そんな残酷な幼年時代から卒業するんや。今のお前はまさに幼年時代そのものやで。エヴァが卒業したはずの人格なんや。それはエヴァやない、別の人間や。
そうよ。私、
Yeah,
後宮
she's
エヴァじゃない。
Beatrice.
黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェだもの。楽しいわよ。
Same starting point, but you know, there was a divergence in the path somewhere along the way.
この閲楽は本当に素敵。割った金魚鉢を謝らなくていい。そして好きなだけぬいぐるみを裂いていい。 私は
A dry sound. It's the sound of Hideyoshi slapping the witch's face with his magic hands. But looking at the hall stained deep with fresh blood, you should have been able to imagine how terrible the witch was. But without fear, without even hesitating, Hideyoshi had walked determinedly up to her and hit her on the cheek.
アホ三角ぶるなやほんまは臆病者の弱虫のくせにわしがまた更生させたるわこのしょわるがこのアホアホ
Dumbo.
痛いちょっと
命の大切さとか儚さとかそういうのが分かる女やったのがわしが思い出させたる何が魔女やアホ抜かせお前はわしの女房の
Hey, you're being
後
hysterical.
ろ宮エヴァや冷蔵庫の残り物でちょいちょいと気の利いたつまみを作れる台所の魔女が先の山や目を覚まさんかいこのアホンだらが
後ろ宮エヴァじゃな
Yeah,
い
yeah, you're not Ava.
言ってるでしょうか
アホ抜か
That's
せ
just an excuse.
この
As tears stripped down his face, Hideyoshi kept hitting the witch's head. He wasn't even pointing the gun at her anymore. So, the sound of gunfire couldn't have come from the gun Hideyoshi was holding. The gun, which had fallen in the corner near Rudolph's body, was floating in the air. The smoke lingered near the barrel. And the bullet? A red stain was slowly spreading across the chest of Hideyoshi's vest. Even though his back was facing the barrel of the gun, the bullet was embedded in Hideyoshi's chest.
バ
だから私はエヴァじゃないと言ってるのにバカでうざい男ねあんたしつこいから第6の番の生贄に変更してあげるわどこかのベッドの下に隠れて震えてでもいたなら見逃してやるつもりだったのにわざわざ戻ってきて
Look what you made me do!
本当にバカな男だわ
Thunk. There was a dull sound as Hideyoshi fell to the floor. Even though he would be able to escape his pain by dying, he resisted that until the last second, and staring straight into the witch's eyes, he passed away. Because he had died without closing his eyes, for a short while, the witch didn't realize that he was dead, and she remained pinned down by that gaze.
こいつも新しいおもちゃにして遊びますにひ
Nah, I think this interaction has kind of taken the wind out of Ava's sails, or Beatrice's sails. You know what I mean when I say that. At those words, the witch finally realized that Hideyoshi was dead.
ああそうねどうしようかしら
The Chiester sisters waited for instructions. On the inside, they imagined an order even more brutal than before from their master. But the expression that rose to the witch's face looked as though she had gotten over her excitement. She looked down at Hideyoshi's face, which still had tears dripping down it.
この男のせいですっかり興ざめだわもうやめたロノウェイいる
Yeah, get the fucking sisters together and finish this shit up.
ここに
後片付けをお願い先代様もうるさいしねあのババアが納得する程度にきれいにしておいてちょうだい一応先代様への義理で儀式のルールには従うわこの3人の死体を第4の番から第6の番ってことでお願いねルシファー出番よ
Yep, chop chop.
傲慢のルシファーここに
その3人の死体ほじくってえぐっといて
死体をですか
そうよ
Well, you need to kill them when they're alive.
何か不満
You can't just do it after the fact.
いえ
Can you? The Seven Sisters of Purgatory had a modest sense of pride. It was the pride of a hunter, the pride of gouging prey that they had brought down themselves. However, being told to gouge a corpse that someone else had brought down ran contrary to that feeling. Of course, that was not the witch's intention, but for the Seven Sisters, it was horribly humiliating. However, they had already messed up, with two of the sisters defeated, so they had no right to question her. Only Ronove appreciated that, and he rested his hand on her shoulder in understanding. Yep, suck it up.
ルシファーは3人を選び、儀式の作法に従い処理をするように。
You gonna help her, like, carry Hideyoshi? Cause...
あと、できましたら私のお片付けにも手を貸してください。
Yep, get the mop.
かしこまりました。
He'll get the hot water ready. Fire up the rug cleaner. The witch looked down upon Hideyoshi's corpse, as though implying that this somehow weird atmosphere was all Hideyoshi's fault.
バカな男ね。死なずに済んだのに。
Oh yeah, Ava's gonna have a rude awakening.
あなたどこ？いるわよね。返事をして。
The sound of loud thunderbolts woke Ava from her nightmare. Hideyoshi had been gripping her hand at that time. Her fearful heart would have probably been instantly healed. However, Hideyoshi, who had sworn that he wouldn't leave even for a moment, was nowhere to be seen in the room. Ah, poor Ava. She didn't ask for this. I mean, she's kind of a bitch, but she's not like... Okay, she's a little cruel, but really only to Shannon. Because, you know, that hussy is trying to get near her son. You know, her precious baby boy. Which, you know, I'm willing to, like... Not give her a pass, but I can see her angle on it. But, you know... Like Rosa just kind of sucks because, you know, she's a bad mom with a chemical imbalance. But Ava's just kind of misguided. Not Beatrice Ava, but Ava, you know, so... Poor Ava. She's getting a rough this time. But with that, that is where we're going to end it here for today. Once again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. See you all next time for the next episode of Umineko, where we will have the aftermath of all these bodies piling up. Oh man. This ain't gonna be good. Catch you guys all then. Later. Bye.